Welcome back to episode 45.
Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Is the mic
Let's
still on?
the mic is still on. Do we have to do a double check or what?
No, we don't have to do a double check at all.
Listen, honestly, man, like guys, I just want to say episode 44, which came out at this point like last week. It's funny. Muhammad was struggling with
Oh
the
yeah,
microphone. Yeah, so
yeah.
anyways, let's start it off, man. Hopefully no struggles this time.
Okay. Uh, um, yeah. So welcome back to another episode of Ways. Thank you so much for listening. We love you guys for everything you guys do. Trust me, the things that you guys do that we do not see, and even the things that we do see, hey, that's God working at its essence, really at its finest. And make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Listen to us on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Radio Public, Anchor, and other platforms as well. Weekly episodes as you guys want. And our Instagram page is Ways 2.0. That's me and Osama's
Yes.
Instagram page. Osama's personal page is Kusa300. Once again, at
Yes, sir.
and lastly, my page is Mohammed.global at Mohammed.global. And it's all about just having fun, keeping going. Hey, COVID's here, winter's here. In some people's eyes, it's better. Some people's eyes, it's worse. But the point is, you got to live life regardless. You can't give up no matter what the obstacles are. So that's why it's good to have these talks and these conversations to give you guys what you want. So when you need it, it comes at a time when you didn't expect it. And today's episode is a topic that was brought up by Osama. And the question is, with the knowledge you knew today, would you go back and relive your life? Now, what do you mean by that? Would you go back and relive your life from beginning, knowing everything that you know now? Or you're there like,
Yeah, so with everything that you know now, would you? So the thing is, I think we've always heard this question since we were younger. Like at a certain age, you've always heard this. Like as you got older,
mhm,
you would always hear your. And this is probably more specifically when you're in high school because that's at least when you start becoming a little bit more independent.
mhm.
You've always heard it like, oh, would you go back and relive your life with the knowledge that you know now, what you know now? And I think my answer has definitely developed. And I'm not sure about you, Muhammad, as well,
Mhm.
but I feel like my answer has definitely developed. I think now my answer would be no, I wouldn't go back to relive my life, all the knowledge that I know now.
Why?
Because then the moments don't become real and they're not genuine no more. You go through things because it teaches you a lesson, right? So when you go through it again, you know what to do, so you're not going to learn the mistake that you did. You're just going to avoid it. But
Mhm.
we have to go through these mistakes to ensure that we never do that. We never run through that problem again. Whether it's a breakup, whether it's a misfortune, whether it's a I don't know, like you got to fight with your friends or you lost money. Like you have to go through that kind of stuff. And I'm not again. I don't like. I feel like at an older age, people have to stop regretting and just you can be disappointed, which is fine, but you have to go and learn from your mistake and continue.
No, and that's the thing. The answer you gave is the perfect answer to that question. Because the thing is, that's the only answer you can really give as far as the flip side. Because if you want
Yeah,
to go relive your life, knowing what you know now, obviously you take advantage. You know what to invest in. You know who to avoid, who not to talk to. You know how to I don't know. You know how to get the perfect job. Legit, you know the future, so you know the totality. So you can invest in certain things. You could start up a company based on this product or that product. You could predict
yeah,
things like you could give information. You could be a motivational speaker. You could tell people about certain events or certain things would have happened and stuff, so people could be saved as far as your loved ones or friends. You know the totality of the future. So obviously, if you
hmm
chose to relive that, know what you know now. Yeah, the future will be totally different. It might work out in your view, but like you said, you want to gain anything from it because you're not learning the lesson.
yeah. And honestly speaking, like, like? Well, obviously, when I was younger, I definitely probably said, yeah, I would go back and relive my life with the knowledge that I know now. But I don't think that's the right answer because a lot of the times when if you do go back and you start avoiding these bad mistakes or these like failures, you start protecting yourself. You become stronger as an individual from going through failure. You become better as an individual when you go through a rock bottom and you're able to get out of rock bottom. our previous episode we spoke about Tyson and Ray Jones, but in the end we said about
You said Ray Jones.
the men. Sorry.
You said Ray Jones.
Oh, so yeah, Ray Jones Jr. Whatever,
He's
man.
not like a R&B singer. Roy Jones.
Oh, Roy. Yeah, Roy. My bad. Okay, so we were talking about that episode, talking about Tyson and Roy Jones Jr. Right, but at the end of the episode we spoke about mental toughness. Failure teaches you mental toughness. For me to go back in time with the knowledge that I know now, it doesn't teach me mental toughness no more because I can avoid being scared now. I can avoid these situations now because I know the knowledge. I know what I went through. But there's no need. Like I would rather just go through stuff and be spontaneous about it because you become stronger. And mind you, the moment does not become genuine no more. So for example, you made $1 million on like day April 15, 2010. You go back and relive that same moment. It's not genuine no more because you already relived it twice.
Of course.
So that moment is now meaningless. As opposed to when you go through it once, you can't take it back. It's there to teach you either a lesson, or it's there to, or it's there to, or it's there for you to remember.
Yeah, it's not gonna be as fun, like you said, genuine. Obviously, you won't learn the mistake. You'll be avoiding it. So it's as if you're living just to live, and nothing's fun with that regards to that in life. As far as you said that failure teaches you mental toughness. I don't really agree 100% of the time. It should teach you mental toughness, but as you know, there's a lot of people who fail over and over and over again, and they actually they don't have mental toughness at all. They either like don't have it, or it takes them a long time to learn how to gain it. So
And I agree with your statement. That's why I said should teach you mental toughness. But then again, I feel so. So explain further. So why do you? So let me ask you a question. Why do you think failure doesn't teach certain people mental toughness? What's the problem?
uh the reason why a lot of people don't, okay, let's break this down. Number one is really simple. As far as how life is set up and society and the structures and how all things are, now 1% of people is 1%. They're considered to be the rich, wealthy, elite people, right? Correct.
Yes.
And then after that, you have like your upper class, people making like over a lot of money and stuff, whatever. And you have the middle class, and then you have the lower class, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Now, as far as mental toughness, Osama, what do you think majority of the people who have mental toughness? Do you think like they're in the 1%, upper class, middle class, or lower class? If you had to like,
I would say for my answer, will be top 1%.
why is that?
Because to be a top 1% isn't easy accomplish to do. You're definitely going to be sacrificing a lot, losing a lot of friends, losing a lot of your time is obviously definitely valuable. So you're going to be giving. You're personally going to be very selfish towards who you talk to, who you do business with. So yeah, I believe that certain things are going to be sacrificed, and to be the top 1%, so your current lifestyle can't be no more.
And I agree, and I'm completely right. And that's why The Wire is one of my favorite shows, because the answer you just gave was just beautiful. But at the same time, a person in the lower class could also have mental toughness, because like you said, sacrifice, losing the friends, not living the same lifestyle. A person who's a drug dealer in the neighborhood selling drugs, whether it's weed, heroin, or coke, whatever, that person is mentally tough. Why? Because they're pushing a narcotic or a drug in their area. They got to avoid the enemies
Yes.
on the other corners, avoid the police and all these different things. You got to be sharp in all these different things. Sacrificing when they're losing your friends, getting killed by rival enemies, getting locked up, and all these things. So it's like it's legit. It's like the same fight, but it's the different pathway as far as the obstacles that you're faced with, right? So the mental toughness, yeah, like you said, it could be in the 1%, it could be in the lower class, or in the middle class, or the upper class. It's really on the person. It's really on the person. But one is the person, like you said, the upper class or lower class. But two is society and the environment that you live in. But everyone goes through the exact same thing. That means it's something that you have in you that just won't allow you to just fall in a way that others do countless times by not learning from it. So when I say that like not everyone has mental toughness due to failure, it's because a lot of people just do not want to learn mental toughness because it is a skill. It's not just something that's given. Maybe it's given to a few, but most people you have to learn how to be mentally tough the right way. the right way. It's a skill you develop
You
over
know,
time.
it's funny that we're talking about this topic because if you think about it, a lot of people stopped living in the moment, and it was a beautiful quote, and I'm gonna get to this. The quote was, "If you're depressed, you're living in the past. If you're anxious, you're living in the future. But if you're at peace, you're living in the present." And
Read
going
that one
back
more
to my
time. I
point,
didn't hear
people
the
not
first part. Sorry about that.
uh if you're depressed, you're living in the past. If you're anxious, you're living in the future. If you're at peace, you're living in the present. Going back to
Beautiful.
my previous point about living in, thanks, man, living in the moment. People are always thinking about, oh, only if I did this or only if I did that. Okay, so let's give an example. I'm using a ways example without going too much in deep. But obviously, at one point, for people that don't know, we were supposed to collab with certain people, regardless if you guys believe it or you don't. But that's for a whole different story. And obviously, things did not go the way they should have been. Now, had me and Muhammad said only if we did this, only no, we learned from our lesson. We know what we didn't do. We know what we did wrong. So now what we do, we either complain and do nothing, or now, as you see, we're in 9 different countries. Thankfully, alhamdulillah, like we're putting in work. We want to thank all you guys for obviously tuning in to us every week and putting in the work. Living in the moment is important, but using your past as experience and using your future as a driven method
Mm-hmm.
to see where you want to go.
Mm-hmm.
But to always be scared of where you're gonna be in the future is not healthy. To always be thinking about your past and what you did is not healthy. Live in the present. And that's why I feel like I remember I think we were all guilty of this as kids, Mohammed. Like we were always saying, "Oh, I can't wait till I get older. I can't wait until I get older." And I feel now it's much more prominent with kids. They always want to be in their like mid 20s because they want to start drinking, they want to do whatever, but they don't realize that drinking is not the only thing you do in your 20s, bro. At that point, you start gonna go to school. You start gotta start paying bills. Certain other responsibilities start coming your way. So people don't like. People have to start living more in the moment. If you're 11, be 11. If you're 20, be 20. If you're 25, be 25.
It's true. Yeah, it's not even like you said. Be 25, be 13, and Osama's. A lot of people are like, oh, who? No, he's not like legit. He just said it. He's not saying be your age. Be present. So your age is a culmination of that. It's a part of that. So
And you said it right there.
it's a part of that. You gotta flip it. You just gotta flip it. That's how you see it, right? So like Osama, your mental toughness. Is that something that's God given, or is that something that you developed over your life, or is it a mix of both?
No, I think that's sorry. That's actually a good question. Holy, holy man, Muhammad, these like deep questions. So that's actually a very good question. To answer your question, I feel God will give you a lot of blessings.
Yeah.
Let's put it that way. It's your job to find that blessing. So I feel God, I think, has given everybody some sort of mental
Mm-hmm.
toughness. But you said in the previous episode, I think it was no, actually just right now, like a few minutes ago, that not everybody learns from failure because mental toughness. That's because they're not willing to learn. I feel people who develop mental toughness have used their past as a experienced method to never go through what they went through again. For example, like um we failed a lot respectively alone,
Yeah.
right? But you made sure you won't do that same failure again. You put it in your mind again. The last episode we spoke about how Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, and Muhammad Ali are probably top 3 mental toughness kind of guys. You know, Michael Jordan with the flu game. Kobe Bryant wouldn't allow no one's thoughts to affect him. Muhammad Ali would use his trash talk to his advantage. He would never say something and not do it. He would tell you before the fight what was going to happen. He would do it, which is even much more scarier. It's like someone's like preparing your fate for
Mm-hmm.
you. I feel I feel that it's like the old saying is that you're not born a star, you're made a star. Yeah, God has written stuff for you. We got like if you're a religious person, but you have to develop those characteristics on your own. You got to go find yourself.
It's true. Yeah, like yeah, yeah.
You know,
You're right. Like you could be born with it. You could be a mental tough person that's born with it, but if you don't know how to grow from certain situations and how to change and how to develop yourself, you can lose it. You can lose it, or you could
of
dissipate just a
course.
little bit and stuff, right? So whether it's just mental toughness and all these different factors, like hey, what you focus on expands, whether it's directly or indirectly. And as we know, and as we talk about on the show, most people are successful. What they focus on expands, and they focus on that directly. They focus on it
And
directly while working on it indirectly. So therefore, they know that they can buy it regardless, no matter what. But most people, as we live life,
Yeah.
what we focus on expands, and mostly it's indirect things that we actually don't even want in our lives, and that's what makes us so messed up as individuals. That's the biggest difference
Yeah.
between a person who knows themselves, a person who doesn't know themselves. A person has goals and wishes, versus a person who just lives life as if I don't know, in the freaking like Disneyland or some crap. Like, yeah,
You know, obviously we spoke about like Jordan, Muhammad Ali, but and Kobe Bryant. But from people that I know personally, there's only a few people who I could say they're mentally tough, right? And here's what I believe determines that: their discipline, right? Their their how much heart they have, their commitment, their I would say their knowledge, and their never give up attitude, right? I would say are five things which can determine someone of how mental toughness they are. Because heart's a big one. Because if you think about it, if you're gonna take everything personally, like why would like my question was why would you want to go back and like and obviously again for people who are listening, yeah, I believe I'm guilty of saying I wish like we can go back and like relive and do mistakes. Yeah, you'll have those thoughts here and there, but as you get older, you tend to realize to live in the
yeah,
moment because time is an essence. Time, like what's funny is when we were younger, Muhammad is I remember this is like for everyone listening in grade 5. Time would go by so
of
slow. You're
course,
like, man, I just want to go home, like go on MSN with the
yeah,
boys, right? But now time flies, like time
quick, quick,
flies.
quick.
Holy, you don't even realize.
November,
Like you woke up eight
November was the
o'clock.
quickest month ever, man.
I know, holy bro, like it felt like you were in
Oh
Ghana
yeah,
yesterday. It legit, like around this time you'd have been around last year. You'd have been in Ghana. It feels like you've been like it's almost
yeah,
a year now. It's
November
insane.
quickest month.
And I said something. Live in the moment. There's certain things why there's certain reasons why your brain can remember certain stuff and doesn't want to remember certain stuff. So if you went through a hurtful heartbreak, why do you want to go back in time and remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Like why? Like why? Like yeah, you're gonna avoid it, but then you're gonna remember it. Like what's funny is you can't erase the memory. Think about it. When you go through something once, even if you had the opportunity to go back and do it, you can't erase the memory. You can fix it, but who knows how it's gonna affect your future going on.
Mm-hmm.
That's what people don't realize. You can't erase stuff. If you're gonna, that means you're erasing your part of your history. You going through that breakup, you going through losing $1,000, you go through that friendship that you don't talk to no more, makes you who you are today. And I feel that, um, when you're content with where you are continuously every single day, I don't know why you have. I don't know why you would be happy. Like I can look at Muhammad right now. He's always, by the way, mind you guys, if you know him personally, if you don't know, Muhammad is always happy, bro. Like you would like there's probably times where he's upset. I don't even know, but he's always smiling. Always a smile on his. He always has a smile on his face. He never shows that he's upset. And you know why? Because he knows in his head that his problems are his, but he's not going to show people his problems to the world. So why am I going to go back in time and fix my problems? You know, like how dumb that sounds. Like imagine like you broke up with someone and then you got to go back and relive the moment twice, not
Hell
once
no.
but twice. So you
Definitely. I guess based on that, what you just said, my answer to the question of the theme, hell no, I'm not reliving the things.
like, could you imagine, like, basically? But yeah,
You know what I
honestly,
know
Muhammad, just
now?
how I
I have to
feel
relive
about
that
you. I feel
twice. Oh, I probably have a sword. But no.
hell no, hell no. Like, I hope this made people laugh. Like, you're not gonna go back and relive a
No, no.
breakup
Certain
twice,
things
let
you
alone three
no
times,
way.
because, like, for people that don't know, like, it ain't fun. Like, like, let's say for example, you got into a like your car skidded on the highway, like, or like for example, last year me and Mo around the actually yeah, almost like
Oh,
around this
yeah,
time we
legit.
were driving,
Yeah,
his
because I
car
before I went to
skidded
Ghana, this was like a few weeks ago.
a few weeks, yeah, like probably
Early
like
November.
around I want to say end
Yeah.
of October, early November, right? And I was like, I don't want to relive that, even though thankfully the one who was
Of
beside me, we don't want to
course.
relive that. There's so don't I'm like fam, live in the moment. There use those negative stuff that happened to you as experiences and say, you know what? I'm gonna use this So I can. So I'm. This will never happen to me ever again. You know, like Muhammad actually said a beautiful point. Go back to episode 44. He said, "When who did you say knocked out Floyd Mayweather again?
Sugar Shane Mosley.
And what did Floyd Mayweather do?
Got up,
He
he
never
got up, he
allowed
started
that to
shaking
happen
his
to him
head,
again.
like as if he didn't touch him. He didn't do anything.
Right? There's a moment in life. There's a moment in life where you could say, either I cry and I show people to the world that I'm nothing, or I go up and I'm like, nope, it's fight time. You know, and that's why Muhammad is one of like people person that I know is probably one of the probably yeah top two guys who have mental toughness because I've never seen Muhammad ever get scared, bro. Like, and that's that's the scary thing, by the way. If someone can't smell fear, he doesn't care. He doesn't care what happened because you have to go through a lot of stuff to like at this point
I'll
fear not to get
say
in your
I'll
way.
do this. So I'll say the same thing about Osama. People who are listening, they'll be like, "Oh, like that's BS," or how you guys, the new kids say, "No cap." Um,
Wow, this guy
yeah.
does not
So I
let me
guess
be
like certain
slang.
things, like because we know each other, people know us and stuff, whatever. But certain, like obviously, if someone like that has never met us before, they're like, "No, there's no way how like just like not be feared or like not be feared in certain things, whatever." So I'll give answers, I'll give context. Same thing as you also, so people just know like oh,
Oh yeah, give context because like obviously there's I hate heights, I hate horror movies.
so like someone like
We're talking
something
about
like
different
Osama
type of
said,
fear
like
here.
which is like I don't show like it's not like I'm scared most of the time. I won't show fear and all that stuff. So people like, no, that's BS and stuff, right? Now, the reason why Osama is saying that, number one, everyone's scared of all things, obviously, right? Like most certain things are gonna happen in life that's gonna scare you, make you fight, whatever. Now, as we talked about like this show in multiple episodes, it's a lot of different things that you can do to make yourself better. The mental toughness. So, obviously, as we go through things in life, whether good and bad, but most of the time it's hardship, right? Like hardship different ways. You do not want it. No, it's not fun at all. It's not fun at all. The best people we look up to that we talk about on the show, Muhammad Ali, Bruce Lee, all these people, not only did they like endure hardship, they embraced it. You just flipped the mentality. You embraced it. Like he's like, hey, instead of you like kicking my ass every single day, I'm actually gonna hug you, embrace you, and see for what you are. And therefore I'm gonna let you know, like, hey, like you have no power over me. Simple. You might be there, but it's not gonna have any power over me. So for me, it's like knowing that that's one thing. And then two is just like, hey, for me, I like doing prayers. Like so I do like affirmations every single day. Because like why? That keeps me calm, it keeps me
Hmm.
very calm. And like Osama said, it keeps me present. That's the one thing that keeps me present. Like it keeps me present in the moment. Why? Because what I'm saying is letting me know, like what I'm going through doesn't mean anything. So therefore, I'm content with what happens, good or bad. So like,
But don't you feel
pardon?
that's a problem? Don't you feel that's the problem that a lot of
No,
people
and that's
just
the
are
thing. Like
not
you said
present?
about being present, I should have said like, hey, doing that alone, that's the most powerful. That's what makes me present in the moments. I could try other things like reading and all that stuff, but it's like a high, it goes up and down. But doing those affirmations every single day, most
But
of the time, that keeps me at present at most. That's what works for
like
me and stuff, right? So you gotta find something that makes you present.
like
So by doing
you know
sorry,
one
but so by
yeah
doing that, that's what offsets like the fear, being scared, or being worried and depressed in the moment. Like, obviously, you're gonna have those feelings, but it won't be as strong and prominent. Why? Because I'm doing certain things to offset that, right? So that's what works for me. So what works for you, Osama?
that's beautiful they said that. But you know what, this one thing I feel our era before had one thing that this new era with technology didn't have is when me and you talk about stuff that we grew up with, we have to go back within our memory, right? Because there was no videos at the time where like you could film a video like of, for example, a funny story I can add on to this about like uh why I would not want to go relive in the past, but like we were in grade five, because we always talk about reliving back in grade five, but honestly, there's probably you don't want to go back and relive. There's probably certain things that
Mm.
happen that you don't want to remember, if that makes sense. But I remember those fun times where we'd be in classroom, we would be like doing rap
Oh,
battles. I don't know if you remember that,
I remember.
right? So we'd always do rap battle. It was fun, but like, how many times are you gonna see a video and laugh at it? Once, twice, 10 times. That's 11 times. It's not funny no more because you're just not in the moment. But when you remember that memory more than once, like once every 2 or 3 years, it's funny because it's with your boys, it's with your friends. You start remembering like the good times. And I feel that when you use your memories, good memories as as a stepping stone for you to like say, I always want to have good memories, and use the negative memories to say, I'm never gonna allow this to happen to me again. Yeah, because again, bro, like we were laughing at one moment. Why do you want? I don't like that. Like now at an older age, I would never want to go back and relive anything. Like there's no way. Anything that's good stuck with me. Anything that's bad has helped me become a better person. And I know what this is on the same thing for
Yeah.
you.
And the funny thing is, it's crazy how you said that because I just thought to myself, um, we both agreed that we want to go back and live the same memories. Some people are like, you guys are stupid. I'd rather go back and live the same memories. And I just thought of the idea, hey, if I had to go back and relive those, if I had to go back in that time, maybe I wouldn't want to relive it the same way. I might have done something different, right? So at least the feeling would be new. But obviously that'll change the outcome of the situation, right? As far as your life and stuff, right? But
I feel yeah. I feel like let's say for example, like let's hypothetically say, let's say we both said yes, right? So if you go back and then, for example, you start acing every single test you didn't ace or whatever, yeah, your life is probably gonna be much more different. Like when you play with the past, it changes the
yeah,
future. But when you're content with where you are right, you know, a lot of the times that people aren't happy. I don't care no matter how much, because we spoke with our previous episode, which was only 15 minutes. Money doesn't buy satisfaction, right? I forget what episode it
mhm.
was, but if you go back to that episode, it's a great 15-minute episode that me and Muhammad spoke about. Man, I lost my train of thought.
we're talking about. That's about the flip side. How like if you had to go back in the.
Oh yeah. All right. Thanks. Thank guys listening. So have you said yes, bro? Like, who knows if you would like your life? What if you hate it even more? That's why you gotta be content with where
That's
you are right
true.
now. Because if you're not content with where you are now, that means there's a problem with you. You made those decisions.
Damn.
You made those decisions. Every good and bad decision
Damn.
you
That
made.
is Osama. I think that needs to be framed. You got to be content with what you have because if you went back, it could possibly be worse. That is, man. Bro, and that's the thing,
You know, let
man.
me tell
Like
you. Let me ask you
for our
something.
followers, if you really love this show, man, our goal is like when you listen to these shows and listen to certain parts that we say, it's like, man, it wakes you up. It's like, bro, you gotta write that down. Or you gotta like write down that timer in the episodes to go back and listen to it and stuff. So it makes you like it helps you in your life. And that's the goal. Like it's not like we just speaking to say things like no, we're trying to
Of
help
course.
others. Why? Because there's other people that we learn from too, right? Like we're not perfect at all. So I think one way that we just give back and just learn from each
No,
other and stuff, right? So when someone says certain things, especially something like that,
we're
is like, bro, that just I don't care whether your life is perfect or not. It's like you better take that advice and hold it near your heart, bro, because you're gonna need it. You're eventually gonna need it, whether next year, next week, or tomorrow.
you know what? Honestly, bro, it's like from all of our friends that we have. Obviously, we have a lot of mutual friends. I can tell you right now, you know this. There's only a few people who are content. There's a lot of people who complain about their life, but that's your fault.
Yeah,
I'm like, you made that decision. You the one that did that. You, not me. You. Like sometimes like we sugarcoat things with our friends because we don't want to get them upset. But then you're like, you think at the back of your head, you're like, I honestly should have told you. That's why rather than saying like we're all guilty of it. At the end of the day, like for everyone who's listening, it's not like me. It's not like myself. I'm not gonna speak for Muhammad. I know myself. There's times where my friends have done something and I could have
yeah,
said something, but I didn't. But again, that's how life goes, and I'm not always gonna be there to babysit all my friends. But Muhammad's a brother of mine, and I'm always here to like. We always give each other advice, and honestly,
yeah,
I sometimes he's put me in that place. Like when I want to do stuff, he's put me in that place. It's like, bro, it's not you. Why? What are you doing? So for people who are listening, honestly, by the way, me and Muhammad want to say thank you because we realized today that we're in Brazil, which is pretty insane. Muhammad one time said something to me, and I'm gonna say it on the podcast. And it kind of just struck a chord with me because obviously for the past 2 years that we've been working, kind of feels good to be in 9 countries now. One of them,
yep,
8 of them being outside of Canada, mind you. There are people. Muhammad said, and it kind of appalled me. There's people in different countries who are listening to our podcast, who speak different languages, who are because we're talking about everything and anything, they're listening to our podcast. So with that,
yeah,
I'll
man.
like we both want to say thank you, because
Like, bro,
it has
and
been
that's
a
the thing. I
journey.
like, I
Believe me.
it's crazy because we tried so much, and there's evidence, or the like you've seen our videos. Actually, most people haven't seen it because we have a lot in the vault. We tried so best, like, hey, a lot of content with visuals, like people seeing us. That's the way because everyone's doing that now. So that's how you take off. That's how you take off. and legit we recorded over 1,000 videos like of us on camera, trying. And
Oh
guess
my
what?
god.
We weren't getting anywhere besides what Canada and America, 1% in America, like, and the rest Canada. Bro, we're not getting anywhere. We're trying our
Yeah.
best over and over and over again. We're not getting anywhere. Hey, time goes up, different tests, hardship. Okay, let's do a podcast. Up and down. Obviously, we weren't consistent recently, but now we're trying to be consistent more again. But it's like, bro, podcast, people can't see us, Osama. All they hear is our voice. And guess what? 8 different countries
Yeah.
besides Canada, 8 different countries. And the funny thing is, most people who probably listen to us, some people, let's say like 20%, 30%, they can't even speak English that well. But the funny thing is, those people,
Yeah.
Osama, there's something about you, there's something about me, and there's something about Waze. They probably don't know about Grant Cardone or Gary Vee or Simon Sinek or all these different people. But that person to them is us.
Yeah,
Like,
and
bro, we
you know the one thing about those three
count your
guys,
blessings,
but it's insane that you mentioned that.
count your
It's actually
blessings.
insane that you mentioned that. Just to be Muhammad, just to be named with those three guys is a I guess is a compliment within itself. But obviously, my goal for Ways is to be for us is to be better than those guys. You know, because I think our story for because no one really knows our story fully, and then
Oh, got
maybe
you.
one day we'll write a
Got
book
you,
about
got you,
Ways.
got you. Definitely, yeah.
We got to, and there's probably so
Just
much
gotta
great
count your
and a
blessings, bro.
documentary.
Yeah, I think
Oh,
that's the
but the
toughest
one
thing,
thing I
obviously,
could
as creators and stuff. It's like, man, you just want people to see you. You want to be out there. You want to like things to launch up quickly, right? But everyone has their own time, right? So it's like, man, you know these people, you know where they
yeah.
are, you know how hard they work. You think the same thing. The results aren't showing, but in another country, that person might be going through hardship even worse than what we're going through, but they see you as that person that we have in that image of ourselves. So that's why it's amazing.
And
Gotta count your
you know
blessings.
what's insane? You, you know what's insane? Like that you just mentioned that someone in Brazil. So I'm just getting all the countries right now. We're in Brazil, Germany, United States, Ireland, the UK, Canada, South Africa, Philippines, and I believe there's one more. Oh my God!
Uh,
Did I say Dubai? Yeah, I did. I said UAE. I think I said UAE. Um, holy fam!
it's incredible.
Oh my God! Anyways, until I remember the last country. My point being is one person can love it so much that he's gonna share. He might not even know who Muhammad said. He might not even know who you are. Just hear a voice. Just hear a voice from God knows where they're living, and God knows where we are to them. And all they hear is like, "Wow, these guys are insane. These guys are unbelievable." And I want to say one funny moment because people like about this topic about reliving the past. There's a few reasons about ways. Oh wow, I don't want to go back. There's a lot of moments that piss me off and want to go film. Specifically that, by the way. So I remember we spoke about this before in a video or in a podcast, but the first potential video we were supposed to do that day was so
Man,
cold.
talk
I
about a
do not want to
lesson.
relive that moment.
Like a lesson, man. Those are lessons. Like those are things like, yeah, because obviously you want life to go one way, but it's really you expect life to go in a certain direction, but it's usually the other way, right? And you could plan things, you can make it perfect as you want. But when things happen, when life takes its course, you can't do anything about it, but just sit there and like, damn.
All I remember from that day is how hyped you were, and then the hype went down and down and down and down by the time Guys, funny
Yeah,
story. I
because like
walked up the
legit,
steps.
like a boxing match. Like we were prepared for that day. We were ready. Like you couldn't tell us that, oh, we're gonna fail or we're gonna like we were ready. Like a boxer, like not like a boxer, the champion, like when he's like in his prime, like the first fight that lets everyone know like this guy's on the come up. That was us. Like, we were ready. We're ready to just knock down that barrier, that challenge.
Yeah.
But I guess at the same time we weren't prepared for the obstacle. Why? Because it wasn't an obstacle against us. It was nature. It wasn't us versus it wasn't us versus the topic or us versus each other or us versus our talking points. It was us versus nature. And we weren't prepared for nature
Yeah,
at that
ways
particular
versus
time and
nature.
day. And because of that, we just didn't know we couldn't adjust. That's amazing with something. It wasn't us. It wasn't us versus talking points or versus each other or the conversation. Why? Because we mastered that for the past few months. It was just us versus nature.
And that's why going back to our points talking about living in the moment. We use all those past experiences. That because I remember Muhammad said this at a previous, I think the first episode that we did, episode 1, which came out almost at this point it feels like a long time ago, but it came out back in May. And Muhammad was like, we had a conversation on the point, like, bro, it's like when I saw you posting all this, because I was going off on posts. Muhammad was like, what is Osama doing? What is Osama doing? I'm like, listen, man, who knows how long Corona is gonna last, right? And this was back in May. We were still in quarantine. This was like Ramadan for us, and that was episode 1. And now we're episode 45, dude. Like, it's already a dream to be on episode 45. It's another dream to be in 9 countries, including obviously our hometown. And I don't care what the percentage of people is listening. The fact that someone is listening there,
of course,
that can add up to more people listening. Because it takes one episode, it takes one picture, it takes one video for you to change your life. But if Muhammad has said this to me multiple times, to other people as well, I've heard him say this. If you're living in the past, and this goes to a lot of my friends, our friends specifically, they should be listening. You're not gonna go nowhere, bro. This is for you.
You got to.
You got to.
You got to. Yeah, this episode's beautiful. It's like full circle. It's like,
yeah.
And that's the thing, like certain certain things are just, you don't know where the conversation's gonna go, and obviously sometimes you go in a direction you expected that maybe you might not like. But the cool thing about the show, and since beginning, like just beginning when we first started, when the conversation goes in a direction we didn't expect and it deters from the topic or the theme, like it just goes in a way where it just expounds and it gets better and better and better, and it's just like it's the best of the best. So that's why certain things like this you just do not take for granted, even though you might at certain times in your life. But that's why you get put back on course when you see the numbers and the results and the support from different countries and the people and just love and all that stuff. Like, because like when we decided to stop for the first time, and we didn't stop, like it was just like a hiatus. When we went on our first hiatus, nothing pissed me. You ask Osama, nothing pissed me off.
I remember that
during that time more than people coming up to us and saying, "Where's the show, man? Where are you guys?" and all that stuff, whatever. I'm like, bro, damn, we did not say this the past 6 months. Because of emotional roller coaster and life and things worse, not only do we stop, you guys coming out of nowhere. Here's the show. What's the next episode? I was like, man, you did not show the love at all. But
you know, it's funny that you mentioned that, because we took a lot of hiatuses, but the last one that we took before obviously posting all these like podcasts, I remember the one you're talking about, because obviously
before I went to Ghana,
we were going through a lot as a team. We were going through a lot of stuff, and before you went to Ghana, I remember we were sitting down, right? And then we were like, yo, it was only me and Muhammad sitting down, like, like, what's our next move? And he was going to Ghana. When he went to Ghana, we had filmed a few videos. So I started posting them. I think I texted him, I'm like, yo, I'm going to start posting. He's like, yeah, do you. But it's not until people are like, yo, where's the videos? I'm like, what do you mean where's the videos, bro? Like, where were you, bro? Like, where was this when we were posting? Like one of our friends said, I remember in the mall at Square One, and he was like, the Mohammed was like, yeah, bro, I don't really watch it. I just like and comment, and that's it. I'm like, what? And then we stopped, and then obviously we were going through like so much, I guess, a roller coaster with our team, and like me and Muhammad didn't know what we were gonna do. We didn't know what our next move was. And we kind of gave it a break because and by the way, people thought that me and Muhammad were like, oh, Wage was done. No, Wage wasn't done. We were just trying to think of ideas to make, and that's mental toughness, by the way, just going back. It's like, we just kept thinking to ourselves, like, what's something we can do? Boom, boom, boom. And then, hey, man, the birth of Waze, that's why I changed it to Waze 2.0. And that's why, because I wanted to start fresh and new. There's nothing that me and Muhammad could do if we go back in time to fix Waze. There's nothing. I'm going to tell you right now, there's nothing, because we were complacent then. We would probably be complacent going back. So our discipline now can't be turned off. There's no water. There's no liquid.
I don't think it's a better way to end the episode on that. People, thank you so much for listening to us. Osama, thank you for being an amazing person, host, mentor, and friend, brother, and obviously leader. Inshallah, to the people on the show.
Man, I'm
And
about to come to your house right now, bro. This
yeah,
got
we don't
making
take this for
emotional.
granted. It's very
You're my guy,
cool.
bro. You're my
Always,
guy.
what are you saying? I think by 46 episodes, you kind of have an idea what we're saying. If not, that's perfect because that gives us more time to grow and expand and just to learn more. So therefore, we've got a way of figuring out what to say, you know. And yeah, so thank you so much for listening to us.
Episode
Make sure to
45.
like, comment, share, subscribe every episode. You can listen to us on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Read a Public, Anchor. Make sure to follow us at Waste 2.0. Once again, at Waste 2.0. Follow Osama at Kusa300. You can follow myself at Mohammed.global. If you have any topics want us to let us know, just let us know.
Yeah.
If you want to come on the show, just let us know. And anything you want us to talk about, you don't feel comfortable giving your identity, want to be anonymous, let us know. Same thing. We don't discriminate or care about who you are and what your status is. So let us know and let us help you help ourselves at the end of the day and stuff. And yeah, thank you so much. New episodes weekly, and it only gets better as time goes on. It only gets better as time goes on. Any final words, Osama?
I love that. With that being said,
It
nah,
only
man, I
gets
just like
better as
how you
time
ended it
goes
with
on.
time gets. What did you say?
All right, perfect.
There you go.
Peace.
That's how we're gonna end it off.